Welcome to another metal detecting with Silvermain, digging up my ancestors edition. This time we go back to my father's side of the family and focus on my great-great-grandfather, Henry Blankenheim. The property that he used to live on has been a particular challenge to me because I believe it's been probably hunted by other detectorists in the past, and it is also strewn with all sorts of modern metal junk like shredded pop cans. But I will show you what I believe to be mainly the stuff that dates back to the time period when he lived there from the early 1870s through 1923. Now on to a little bit of history about Henry Blankenheim.
Henry Blankenheim was born May 21, 1844, in the Rhine province of Prussia, later Germany, the son of Johann and Christina Blankenheim. In 1845, at the age of 1, he, along with his family, came to America on the ship Brutus, arriving in New York City, New York, on July 2, 1845. At first, they settled in Greenfield, near Milwaukee, Wisconsin, but sometime during the 1850s, they moved and settled in the southern end of the township of Roxbury. Here, Henry became a shoemaker's apprentice at the shoemaker's shop owned by Lois Becker in Sauk City, and stayed there for quite some time. On August 31st, 1869, he married Katharina Povemacher and stayed first at his father's farm. A few years later, he bought his own farm, moving into the center of the township where he spent the remainder of his life. He was happily married for 54 years and had a family of 12 children, 6 boys and 6 girls. Here he would work his farm with his brother Anton. He grew watermelons, which they sold for extra money. He built a buck oven where he would get a fire good and hot to help his wife cook her delicious bread. Henry also would continue as a shoemaker, fixing shoes. Henry was also known to be a very good auctioneer, and people employed him for those talents. He also served as town constable and was a director of the school district for many years and was mayor for a time. He was known for his great sense of humor and the jokes he would tell. He died on July 8, 1923, in the care of his loved ones at his home. Here we have a close-up of the plat map of Henry Blankenheim's land, and followed by a overlay on a satellite photo, and then without it, and then showing you in blue the area that I hunted. And followed by, we have some nice shots of the house as it appeared shortly before it was demolished, and during the time I did my first rounds of detecting. Well, here we are at the Blankenheim Farm, and what you see is not much left other than the barn. I've hunted here several times and found probably what was left over after a while. What you see is what you get, and I can't imagine there's anything else left here, but nevertheless, I think I will give it a shot for about an hour and see what I can find. But this was the Blankenheim Farm, and I have a bunch of stills before the things were turned down, so let's see if we can find anything. I'll get back to you if I do. Just a little bit more of the same. Plate fragments, as to be expected with any farm site on the Blankenheim Farm. So, get back to you. Well, this is a first for a while. I stumbled across a good signal, and it's a nice wheat penny. Don't know what year. I would imagine it's probably a later one, but it's really looks like a 1950s wheat. Don't know. Not of the area we're looking for, but it is a wheat, so I'll take it. Get back. Another typical find for a farm house and stuff, a shotgun shell. Get back to you. Another typical find of an area like this is a very good spot. Turns out to be a mason jar lid. Lots of ants. Anyway, get back to you if I find anything else. Just a zipper. Not a great find, but we know it's post 1891, so get back. A very unusual find. It's right next to what appears to be a privy or an old outhouse. Don't know if it has any relation with that. Looks like it screws onto a wall, but it doesn't have any ability to lift out, so I don't think it's a handle, but it got me. If anybody out there knows what this is, please leave a comment. I'll get back to you as soon as I find something else. Obviously it looks like a key to something. As to what, I don't know, but it is brass. No markings on it that I can see, but it looks like a good find. Certainly one I'm going to take home. And if you guys, again, can identify what this is, I would very appreciate it. Again, anything to help. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. We got ourselves a belt buckle. I found it's probably the third one here, but I'll take it. It's an unusual find. I'll get back to you if I find anything else, but believe me, I've been trying to find coins here for a while, and all I can find is wheat pennies. Nothing older. But I'll keep trying, maybe for till 3 o'clock at the latest. So I'll get back. Well, here are the finds for the last 2 hunts at the Blankenheim Farm. Not much to really speak of. We got what looks like a key to something. Some kind of winding key, I don't know. Here we have our mystery, I believe it might be a handle, but the way it bolts into something, it certainly doesn't leave much room unless it's on the edge. Have a nice buckle. Some glassware with different colors. A really nice design on this particular one right here. The usual mason jar lid. Some other piece there that I can't tell what it is. Some kind of lead thing. A couple of could be brass rings, hard to tell. Usual shotgun shell. Our only coin that we have is what looks like a wheat penny. 1955 wheat penny, or one coin find there. Unusual there. Some unusual plate fragments and some other junk. So, there's the finds from this year, and now we'll go on to some of the finds from the last few years. I'll get back. Here are our finds from the past several years at the Blankenheim Farm. Some interesting, not some so interesting. Probably the biggest one is this piece. I believe that's part of a mantle clock, just as before with the Geiger Farm. Here we've got our coins. Not much for a variety, as I tend to think that this place has been hunted well before I ever showed up, so I should have found at least some kind of silver coin, but I didn't. I ended up with 1 buffalo nickel and 6 Wheaties from the time period that my ancestor lived there. The rest were some other wheat pennies from the 30s, 40s, and 50s, maybe roughly about, maybe a half a dozen. So I didn't include that in this. Here we got a pocket watch that I found near Privy. More on that one later, and why I think this one might be significant. As well as a toe tap. Again, more on this one later, as why I think that is significant also. Here looks like a gear, maybe to the same mantle clock, hard to say. Here's a decorative type of piece. I really don't know what is significance, but it's got some kind of wheat motif on it. Looks like it might go to some kind of writing piece. Nice marble that might date back to the period. I don't know. If anybody knows about marbles and how to date them, let me know. and a cheap, probably a carnival ring. It has, I believe, Hong Kong on the side there. Sorry if you can't see it too clearly. And then our two lantern pieces. There's some writing on them, and we'll also focus in on what dates these might go back to. Probably some of the oldest dates I have. But that's about it. Not much to show for this, but we'll go into a few of these pieces and why I think they may be significant. So I will get back to you. Now on those lamp knobs that I found, some of the writing on them, each of them have a patent date on them, at least 2 patent dates actually. The first one has H.B. Hayden, January 24th, 1860, and August 1st, 1865. The other one had a patented December 10th of 67 and October 1st of 72, B&B Manufacturing Company. Now, as you can see here, we have the side views of those knobs. One is shorter than the other one, which has a bunch of spikes and or teeth to them. And I looked up the patents, and as you can see, this is what the configuration looks like with everything present. As you can see, as I've highlighted, you can see the actual parts and where they lay amongst the rest of it. And this one's mainly for the 1860 date. The next patent deals with the August 1st of 1865 date. There I also highlighted the knobs where they sit in the part of the lamp. And finally, the other date we have is the December 10th, 1867. And there are 2 you can also see, as I've highlighted, the parts as they looked in the lamp at that time. I couldn't find the last patent date, but 3 out of 4 ain't bad. So just wanted to show you those, and those are the only things that have given me an 1800s date. Now on with the pocket watch that I found. Here we have a picture of 35th anniversary gathering of Henry and Catherine Blankenheim, and as we close up on the picture, you can see that Henry in his vest has a watch chain. And even though I can't, I don't have any pictures showing the watch, there's a fairly good chance that this pocket watch could be the one in the same watch, but I have no way to prove it since I don't have anything with a photo of it in there. But I thought it was an interesting correlation. It's just too bad that the outside casing of the watch wasn't present, because who knows, it could have had an inscription on it and would have gave me a positive ID otherwise. Now, as far as coins, I didn't really find a lot of variety of coins, let alone old ones. As I said before, I think this particular property has been metal detected before I even came to it, so a lot of the good stuff probably were already taken. But what we have here, as far as coins within the date of my great-great-grandfather's living there, we have a 1923 Buffalo nickel, a 1909, a 1911, a 1916, a 1917, a 1918, and a 1918 D wheat pennies. We also had other wheat pennies there too, but they fall outside the dates that I'm looking for. Mostly were 40s and 50s, with maybe one 1930s wheat penny. So these certainly fall within the dates of when my ancestor lived there. And the metal detecting item I think relates most to my great-great-grandfather Henry Blankenheim happens to be a simple toe tap. Now, why do I say that? Well, if you remember earlier on in the video, I said that Henry Blankenheim was a shoemaker. And as you see from this section from the 1870 census, he's listed as a shoemaker. He's also listed as a shoemaker in the 1880s as well. And it's what I call an occupational find. And I know it's not much of anything really as far as metal detecting finds go, but it's the one I would pick out as being the one most likely to be related to him.
There you have it, the Henry Blankenheim hunt. And as with any hunt, I try to find some artifact that I can connect to with my ancestor. I may have not done it definitively with the past 3 videos, but with the next one coming up, I will definitely have a connection with an artifact as well as a history of the artifact and where it came from. Until then, this is Silvermain signing off saying, may all your finds be silver, and if you're a metal detectorist, dig up your ancestors. You might find something interesting.